Women conflict and gender-based violence. Violence against women and girls is one of the most prevalent human rights violations in the world. In Sri Lanka, 1 in 5, 20.4% women have experienced sexual and/or physical violence by an intimate partner. 1 in 4 women, 24.9%, have experienced sexual and/or physical violence since the age of 15. 18.8% of women who have been in a relationship have experienced some form of physical and/or sexual violence by their intimate partner. By definition, gender-based violence counts any harmful act that is committed against a person's will and that is based on socially constructed differences between males and females. It includes acts that inflict physical, mental, or sexual harm or suffering, and threats of such acts, coercion, and other deprivation of liberty. Rape, marital rape, sexual harassment, assault, harmful traditional practices, female genital mutilation are few of the most common manifestations of gender-based violence. Physical violence mainly includes physical force that results in injury, pain, or impairment. Sexual violence includes any sexual act, attempt to obtain a sexual act, unwanted sexual comments or advances through force or coercion by anyone, regardless of their relationship to the victim. Emotional violence includes actions or words that impair a person's psychological wellness or personal integrity. Economic violence includes actions that deny and/or control a person's access to financial and other resources. Root causes of gender-based violence are manifold, but they could be summarized into gender inequality, abuse of power, lack of respect for human rights, rigid gender roles, norms, and hierarchies, and ascribing women lower status within communities as well as in legal and policy frameworks reinforce gender inequality. Unequal power relations is a main cause for gender-based violence. Women and girls are subjected to forms of violence due to power imbalances that favor men. Gender-based violence is a human rights concern. People who experience gender violence may suffer from different human rights violations. For example, the right to life, freedom from torture and degrading treatment, freedom from discrimination, and the right to safety and security. Wars, civil uprisings, riots, all that mount up to conflict amplifies gender-based violence and disproportionately affects women and girls. It intensifies pre-existing gender inequalities and discrimination. Women and girls are primarily and increasingly targeted by the use of sexual violence, including as a tactic of war. Women are active agents of peace in armed conflict, yet their role as key players and change agents of peace has been largely unrecognized. Acknowledging and integrating the different understanding, experiences, and capabilities of women into all aspects of peace building and reconciliation is essential for sustaining peace. To facilitate women's meaningful engagement in peace building and reconciliation, the Women, Peace and Security Agenda was formed initially by the UN Security Council Resolution 1325 in 2020. The Women, Peace and Security Agenda rests on 4 pillars. Prevention. Prevention entails prevention of conflict and all forms of violence against women and girls in conflict and post-conflict situations. Participation. Participation aims to ensure women's equal participation and gender equality in peace and security decision-making processes at all levels. Protection. Women and girls are protected from all forms of sexual and gender-based violence, and their rights are protected and promoted in conflict situations. Relief and recovery. This entails specific relief needs of women are met and their capacities to act as agents in relief and recovery are strengthened in conflict and post-conflict situations. It is important that relief and recovery efforts focus on creating a conducive environment for women to actively engage in the economy. There are more than 23.4% of women-headed households in Sri Lanka. 80% of the total households in the northern province are headed by widows, divorced, or unmarried women according to Census and Statistics 2013. Women who come from conflict-affected families, such as widows of fighters, are severely touched by the post-war struggles. Many war widows in the north and east continue to struggle while carrying the burden of taking care of their family. Women who are occupying positions of leadership and authority at any level have a key role to play to address gender-based violence. What can you do to address and mitigate gender-based violence? Adopt gendered approaches in your programs and activities. Advocate with relevant government authorities to adopt and implement laws and policies to prevent gender-based violence and its root causes. Ensure meaningful participation of women in peace-building processes by opening up bidirectional communication channels and making resources available for participation. Mobilize activists and women leaders to advocate with relevant government authorities to enforce laws and policies to address gender-based violence. It is important that women are supported in rebuilding their lives by identifying the multifaceted barriers and challenges which prevent women in local communities from participating in post-conflict recovery processes and improving their economic livelihoods. Women and girls are active agents of peace, security, and conflict resolution. It is crucial that they are meaningfully engaged in the peace and reconciliation process to achieve sustainable solutions.